Hi, I'm Lisa Leiter. In Chicago Business Today, the job market. This morning, the government released the latest figures on nationwide first-time jobless claims. Crain is taking an in-depth monthly look at the local job market with an interactive graphic at chicagobusiness.com/jobs2010. Earlier this week, I sat down with Tom Gimbel, Chief Executive and founder of the LaSalle Network, to find out what trends he's seeing at his Chicago staffing firm. First-time unemployment claims have been trending higher. Also, we've seen the long-term unemployed continuing to rise as well. What do you make of this trend?
I think there's so many people that have been out of work for a while. There's still companies that are doing layoffs. And now you have people that are voluntarily leaving the workforce, trying to do freelance and take other opportunities and take advantage of what should be becoming a more entrepreneurial-friendly economic environment. But it's not. And the end result is you have more people filing claims, and that's why those numbers are trending up a little bit.
So what are companies telling you? One thing that we've seen also is the number of temporary workers rising month by month since last fall. Do you have more companies coming to you looking to hire on a temporary basis?
We definitely have more temporary requests than we do permanent requisitions. However, at the same time, companies want to put their foot in the water and see where the economy is going to go before investing heavily in benefits and training and onboarding and doing all those things. And temporary labor coming out of a recession always increases.
Absolutely. Although it seems that this time the temporary trends have continued to rise and we're not seeing that as of yet translate into the permanent jobs. Do you think that companies are truly worried about a double dip recession? What are they saying to you?
Yeah, I think a lot of companies are worried about a double dip recession. At the very least, they're worried about what we call a bumpy bottom, that it's not going to go up and maintain. At the very least, it's going to be bumpy, if not a double dip. And I think what we saw in the first quarter with profits increasing, with the inventories being rebuilt and doing that, it's going to move a lot and be very cyclical like that for some time to come.
Okay, so which industries are starting to hire again that maybe did pull back quite a bit during the depths of the recession?
I think technology really tends to be the highest mover. And when I say technology, I don't mean necessarily the industry of tech companies, but technology positions in any company. So it could be an old school newspaper company, but they need to have technology people there to move the ball forward. And I think that's really the number one area for people, that if they're going to go back and get training or education, people coming out of college should really focus their sights on that. But the old stalwarts are still there: healthcare, education, and what we're really starting to see now is financial services are starting to bounce back.
Do you think we're entering a period where there's sort of a new normal, where companies are hiring temporary workers on a more permanent basis like they do in Europe, rather than taking on someone, like you said, with benefits and everything else?
I think that's actually been trending prior to the recession, moving that way, but I also think there's a flip to that. I think that the employee market, the candidate base, is moving more towards that, whether it's a 1099 independent contractor basis or through a firm like mine, LaSalle Network, where they do temporary staffing, that more employees want to do that, whether it's back to work parents, kids out of college looking, the people who've been transitioned out and now they have maybe a severance package and they want to try. So I think there's a lot of people that are exploring those options.
Number of people filing for extended payments is almost at 4 million. So what do you tell someone that has been out of work for so long and has that gap on their resume? How do they go about getting some of these jobs that you're seeing?
Lose your ego and think logically and take a job for less money. You have the opportunity for promotions. You have the opportunity for bonuses. You have the opportunity for internal movement within a company. Sometimes you just have to take maybe it's 2 or 3 steps backwards financially, but something is better than nothing. And there is numerous studies that show people who are working are happier than people who aren't. And who wouldn't want to be happy?
How do you think Chicago is faring compared to other major metro markets?
Well, I think overall, if you look at the numbers, people will say that the economists will say Chicago's not doing as well. I think it's because when you have an area that has a highly affluent area like Chicago does, with a large potential of earners in excess of $60,000 or $70,000 a year and a large percentage over $100,000, it's going to look worse than it is. But if those people would take jobs at a lower level, I don't think it's as bad. I think the jobs are there. The question is, are the people willing to take them?
Gimbel also tells me that more people are starting to re-enter the workforce now, and the number of people showing up to LaSalle's job fairs has increased. And that's this edition of Chicago Business Today. For more information on Chicago's employment picture, be sure to check out chicagobusiness.com/jobs2010. Thanks for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.